No more guessing, no more speculating. The C8 mid-engine Corvette is finally here. Guys, before I get into too much information, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification for more automotive news like this. I really appreciate it. It helps the channel grow. Now, no more wasting time. Let's get into this car. This is a very impressive looking car. Right out of the gate, I'm just going to say Chevy is stating this is going to start at just under $60,000, which probably means about $59,000 and change. And that's only a couple $1,000s more than the C7 base model, which I believe is $55,000 and change, or $56,000 and change. So it's not a huge jump that I thought it was going to be. I thought this car was going to start in the $70 to mid $70,000 range, which is a good thing. But again, that's for the base model. You start tacking on all the add-ons, and I'm sure that price will climb quickly. But initial thoughts on the exterior. Let's take a look at the car. The front end, it's menacing. I really like the front end. It looks really good. It reminds me of a Ferrari. So I think the Corvette's kind of taken a huge advancement from the American sports car to now almost an exotic. We're borderlining supercar now, at least with the appearance. The performance we'll touch on in a minute. But the big openings in the front grille on the right and left side in front of the wheels, they're hiding radiators. So they are functional. Don't just think they're a big massive grille there for no reason. They are hiding radiators for the cooling. The headlights are really cool. I love the headlights. They're very sharp, very angled, very commanding. I really like those. Even the side mirrors stick out a little bit. It's not so tight to the body, which also kind of reminds me a little bit of a Ferrari, the way they do it. The rear end, I'm still not a fan of. It still looks like a Camaro. I think they could have done something better. Hopefully they revised that quickly. Maybe even just at least change the taillights. The spoiler, I'm not hating as much. It looks a little better in real life. The mounting point for the rear license plate opening, that's still really huge. I don't know if that's for European buyers with that long stretched out license plate that they have over there. But it seems like a really massive opening for that little license plate in the back. I don't know, it seems out of place. I just can't get over it. I'm still not a fan of the rear end. It just reminds me of a Camaro. But the rest of the car looks really good. I like the way it slopes. I love the glass window in the back to where you can see the engine. That's really high end to me. I think that's really cool. You only see that kind of stuff in Ferraris and McLarens and things like that. So, big fan there. Interior, this is where it's a real mixed bag for me. The interior is, I don't know, it's very high end, which is good. But the design layout is where I'm a little questionable. Now, let me explain. I'm going to start with the steering wheel. The steering wheel, I'm not a fan of the squared steering wheel. And I know it's not a perfect square, but it's kind of flat top. It's got a flat bottom. And it's not even, the sides aren't even a semicircle. It's still got a weird angle there. And it just seems like it would be annoying to drive. Now, I know race cars and race inspired steering wheels, they have the flat bottom. And I'm completely fine with flat bottom wheels. I love flat bottom wheels. I even like the red stripe on the steering wheel. But it's just, the shape, it seems like it would be a little weird to hold while you're driving. But again, I'm not driving it, so I don't know. I guess you'd have to experience it to really know for sure. Other than that, the layout is extremely driver focused. So everything's wrapped around the driver. The passengers really have no interaction at all. So if they want to change the radio or anything like that, they really can't. The one thing I'm really not liking at all is the button layout down the center console, all in that one straight line. That that doesn't do it for me. I'm not a fan of that. I know I've already heard many people say they're not a fan of it either. That might have to be revised, I think, down the road, but we'll see. The center console is pretty cool. I love the push button gear selection for the transmission. That also very high end. It reminds me of the exotic sports cars like the McLaren and the Lamborghini. The turn knob for the infotainment, which is covered by, I don't know, this padding of some sort. That's pretty cool. It keeps things very clean looking. I don't know how high that center console really is. I'm hoping it's not too high and makes things too claustrophobic, because the way it is now, it's very angled in a way that makes me look like I'm going to be claustrophobic in the car. But it's, again, I'm not sitting in the car. I can't really judge as of yet. But everything in this car looks very, very high end and very classy. Very impressed with it overall. So, I mean, like I said, there's some styling designs that may just take getting used to. Everything, I mean, when you bring something new to the table, it does take getting used to. So this is probably one of those bags. But in some pictures that I see, I love it. Other pictures I look at, I'm like, maybe, maybe not. But again, I probably have to see it in person. I have to sit in it and really get a good gauge for the interior as a whole. This is leaps and bounds for Chevy Corvette. I love the fact that there's 3 different seats that, you know, you can upgrade to as options. That's really cool that you get to pick a different style. I love the gauge cluster. It's completely digital, completely customizable. It has a really cool font, a really cool layout. I'm a big fan of that. Now, let's skip real quick to the performance aspect. First thing I want to touch on is the weight. Chevy's claiming a dry weight of 3,366 pounds. That's pretty good. I'm very impressed with that. That is actually lighter than the C8 Corvette. A lot of that is going to be due to the fact that they used a lot of aluminum in the car to lighten it up. That's a great thing. LT2 6.2 liter naturally aspirated V8, 495 horsepower, 470 pound-feet of torque. In a car that now weighs, dry weight, might I add, 3,366 pounds. That's awesome. So we have a power increase and a weight reduction on the car. This thing is going to roll. They're saying 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds. It is an 8-speed, automatic, dual clutch transmission, no manual options. I know that's going to upset a lot of people. Look, the dual clutch transmission is by far faster. It's gonna, for performance sake, it's the only way to go. But if you're really looking for engagement, you want that driver feel, you don't really care too much about the 0 to 60, you're gonna want the manual transmission. That's one of the things about the Corvette, was it always had a manual transmission. You always had that driver engagement. But now you don't. You only have the dual clutch transmission. And I know Chevy did it because it is faster, it is more performance oriented, but I really wish they would have kept at least a manual option. Now, if you opt for the Z51 package, you're going to get bigger brakes, better cooling, and an active exhaust. Handling is through coilovers and a magnetic ride suspension. Not a big surprise there. A lot of cars are getting a magnetic ride suspension with the Camaro, the Mustang, things like that. So I'm not really surprised to see a magnetic ride control on the new Corvette. All right, there's a few different trim levels you can start with, which is the FE1 trim level package, which is the base car. That starts just under $60,000, which comes with the Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires. They're saying it will pull about a 1.03 to a 1.05 G on the skid pad. If you actually opt for the Michelin Pilot Sport all-season tires, you're really not going to hurt the handling too much, and it'll still get a 1G in the skid pad. That's pretty awesome for, you know, someone who wants to drive it more and get a little more out of their tires. The next trim level is the FE3. That includes the Z51 package. I think probably a lot of people end up getting that. Overall, this car has a lot of features. It even has a GPS-enabled nose lift. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, this means that if you drive up to a curb in a parking spot or one of those little dividers that you see in front of parking spots, the car will automatically lift the nose so you don't damage the front splitter. And you can save it on your GPS. So if you ever return to that spot, that car will automatically come up and you won't have to do anything to make any adjustments and clear that without damaging your splitter. That's pretty cool. So it will save up to 1,000 different locations. So if you go to the grocery store multiple times and there's always that little divider or a curb in front of where you park, the nose will automatically lift every time you go there. You don't have to worry about damaging your splitter. That's pretty awesome. You actually have a lot of trunk space in it too. It's kind of, I don't want to say it's practical, but it's kind of practical because you have trunk space in the rear, which you can fit about, a large golf bag or whatever in. And you also have space in the front of the car for a little bit of luggage or space. So you have a little bit of a storage room to make it a practical argument if you need to for your significant other in order to buy the car. But it's really cool. I love the wheels. The wheels are really awesome. They're really good looking. And it's a very futuristic looking car. And I don't mean that in a bad way. It just seems like a very aggressive car. It seems like it's something that's very commanding presence on the road. And it's a very good looking car, aside from the rear end, which I still can't get my head around. I hope they revise that in the next couple years because it still reminds me of a Camaro. I still can't get over that. And that rear spoiler, by the way, if you opt for that with the Z51 package, will offer 400 pounds of downforce. That's pretty awesome. So, obviously the wind's not exactly the prettiest part of the car, but it's very functional. So, I don't know. As a whole, the car is really, really cool. I like it. I can't wait to see it in person. I think this is going to be a huge, huge stepping stone for Chevy. Let me know down below, guys. What do you think of the car? Do you love it? Do you hate it? What parts do you love or hate? As always, thanks for watching the video. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys next time.